Ancient Aliens Live, the experiential expansion of history series, is coming to the Galois Theater here in Springfield on December 18th. Joining me now with more on this amazing live event is the leading expert, co-executive producer, and contributor for History Channel's Ancient Aliens, Giorgio Tsoukalos. Good to see you, Giorgio. Thank you for joining me.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeremy, and what a pleasure.
So, you know, the show is very popular. You're going on the road, the live event. Tell us, what can people come who've seen the show and love the show? What are they going to see live and in person?
Well, it's basically a 90-minute live episode of Ancient Aliens. So if you enjoy our contributors like Jason Martell, William Henry, and Nick Pope, and myself, you get to experience us on stage for about 90 minutes where we discuss Ancient Aliens topics with video clips, photos, and a Q&A at the very end with the audience. And so it's a fun night out in the town for the whole family. And it's the show is a little roller coaster ride around the world exploring ancient and modern mysteries.
So there is an audience participation part, because I know a lot of people will want to ask you questions. When you're out and about meeting people, is there something you could ask the most that you're just like, you know what, this is what I found out, this is what I believe, you know, and people are very curious. I mean, aliens have been in the, you know, in the headlines recently, so you've got to expect those kind of questions.
Absolutely, and the most popular question by far is if the aliens we see today, whether it's up in the sky or you know, coming in and out of the oceans and stuff like that, if that potentially could be us from the future, essentially time travelers. And that is, first of all, a super intelligent and awesome observation, and also an awesome question. And in fact, we've explored that question also in one of our episodes of Ancient Aliens. But my personal answer to that is that as far as I know, this is not the case, because in any of the ancient texts, there are no references where somebody slips up, where our ancestors ask these visitors, where are you from? None of these visitors say, as far as I know, hey, shh, don't tell anyone, but we are you from the future. So that passage does not exist. Therefore, to me, the time traveling answer, or the time traveling concept, is out the window. Now, if such a text were to exist, then I have to go back over the books. But so far as far as I know, there's no such reference. And I have to go by what our ancestors said. And they mostly said that those visitors that descended from the sky in physical form came from the depths of the black darkness. And that is a description of space. I mean, it can't get more poetic and wonderful than the dark, cold blackness. I mean, that is space. It's not something else. It's not a void. It's space. They didn't have the word for space. They didn't have the word for spaceship and stuff like that. So,
okay, the time travel, you've blown my mind already, and I just started talking to you. It's so fascinating because I feel like, too, in the past, there's been such a stigma about talking about aliens. And if you talk about it, you're crazy. That's kind of going away now with everything that's kind of being released, don't you think?
You know, I'm really glad that you bring that up, because I've been doing this for at least 35 years. And, you know, I did not do this because of Ancient Aliens. Ancient Aliens found me because I was already there. But so if any of my colleagues, and I include Martell, Pope, and Henry, and Childress, and Taylor, and all those guys, you know, we've been doing this for a very long time. And had you told us 30 years ago that one day there will be hearings in the halls of U.S. Congress about UAPs and UFOs, and we just had the third one last week, then I would have said, well, that would be great, but it'll never happen. And here we are. And so, yes, you are right. There has been this paradigm shift, and I think it's because not only are people curious, but they're ready. In 2017, in December, when the Pentagon Papers were leaked, in which it was proven that any and all heritage programs, whether it is crash retrieval systems or whether it is, Project Blue Book, all these different projects investigating UFOs, The U.S. government has always said, no, not true, deny, 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 deny. Well, in December 2017, they leaked that this was in fact all true, all of it. And, so we have made leaps and bounds progress towards this topic, and I think it is wonderful and a dream come true, frankly.
It is. It's kind of overwhelming. And I do want to ask you a question. You have a super fan here at our station named Tim, and he's our photographer. And this question is from him, and he'll be very excited I got to talk to you. He would like to ask you this. If somebody is skeptical, if somebody, doesn't believe, do you have, with all your years of experience, do you have at least one example, maybe two, of irrefutable proof about aliens existing past or present?
So had you asked me this question 10 years ago, then I would have rattled off, 2 pages of stuff. But I've learned something in the last 20 years, and that is, skeptics, you can show them pretty much a broken off piece of a spaceship. You could show them, you could introduce them to a live alien, and they would still say it's a dude in a suit or it's a prop. And so skeptics, I'm sorry, they're only ready when they themselves are ready. So I no longer engage with them. I no longer throw evidence because, what's also interesting, I would say start watching Ancient Aliens because I cannot tell you how many times I'm approached and people ask, and they're usually skeptics, and they say, I've been watching your show and it's really wonderful, but how come you guys don't show any evidence? And I'm like, what? I mean, we're now almost 300 hours in on Ancient Aliens, and to suggest that we're not presenting aliens is nonsense because each episode is the presentation of evidence. So this only illustrates that some people accept that evidence and some don't. And the ones that don't, your time will come.
How long is the show, and where can people get tickets?
So it's 90 minutes, usually starts around 7:30 p.m. And to see a list of our next tour dates and cities, go to ancientalienslive.tour.com or Ticketmaster.
Thank you so much for your time. I seriously have, if you could see, I have pages and pages of questions. No time to get to, but I can't wait for the live show. And again, Ancient Aliens Live coming to the Galois Theater here in Springfield on December 18th.